Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to share with you a book called Tasty, which provides an in-depth analysis of an activity we do every day but don't really understand: tasting food. I believe many people face the question, what should I eat today, every day? But have you ever thought about more fundamental questions like, why do we need to eat, and how did the behavior of eating come about? The answers to these questions are hidden behind the science of taste. The author of The Science of Taste is John McQuaid. Through extensive literature research and field visits, he gives us a comprehensive account of the history, scientific principles and cutting-edge explorations of human taste. The book is very informative. I have selected some of its key points to share with you. First, debunking the misconception of the taste map. Those who have learned physiology must be familiar with the concept of the taste map. The taste map drawn by early scientists based on experimental data divided the human tongue into different areas, each corresponding to one of the basic tastes, such as the tip of the tongue for sweetness and the root of the tongue for bitterness. This map existed for decades, was even written into textbooks, and was used to design utensils and wine glasses in the hope of achieving better taste effects. However, current scientific research has found that this map is wrong. The reason is that taste buds are distributed all over the human tongue, and each taste bud contains receptors for different tastes. In fact, every part of the tongue can taste different flavors, and there is no such thing as a fixed partition. In addition, the basic tastes that humans can sense are not just the four tastes of sweet, salty, bitter and sour. With the development of science, the fifth basic taste, umami, has been identified, and some scientists suggest that oleogustus may also be a basic taste. So feel free to try new flavors with any part of your tongue. You don't need to eat according to the so-called taste map anymore. Second, the 5 most important meals from ancient times to the present. In this book, based on geological research and archaeological discoveries, the author talks about the 5 most important meals in the evolution of life from ancient times to the present. These 5 meals marked the exploration of food and food flavors by organisms from nothing to something, and also witnessed the emergence and maturity of tasting as a behavior. Let's quickly review these 5 big meals. The first meal took place 500 million years ago, a simple feeding behavior of trilobites eating small worms. The second meal was the emergence of fish 30 million years later, when the senses of smell and taste began to work separately. The third meal was the birth of mammals, which evolved more complex brains to help obtain food. The fourth meal occurred 20 million years ago when primates evolved color vision to better judge food. The last meal was the advent of human use of fire 1 million years ago, and cooked food released more flavors. From simple feeding to the separation of smell and taste, and then to the evolution of brains and eyes, each meal promoted the exploration of food and flavor by life, eventually building up our current tasting system. Third, tasting requires the participation of multiple senses. We may think that tasting is only related to the tongue, but in fact, tasting requires multiple senses to work together. In addition to the taste sense of the tongue itself, the olfactory sense of the nasal cavity also plays an important role in the tasting process. When you have a cold, nasal congestion will severely affect your tasting experience. More surprisingly, scientists have discovered taste receptors in many parts of the human body, such as the pancreas, liver and other organs also have some taste ability. This shows that every part of our body is tasting the food we eat. Even the brain plays an important role in the tasting process. Scientific research has found that the pleasure center in the brain secretes a variety of exciting and pleasant chemicals. So even for the same food, your brain will give different tasting experiences when you are in different moods. Therefore, tasting is not limited to the tongue and taste, but requires the joint participation of our senses all over the body, and finally aggregates in the brain to form a complete gourmet experience. Fourth, the scientific secrets of spiciness. Let's explore why chili peppers are spicy, which seems like a simple question. In fact, spiciness does not belong to our taste range, but is a kind of pain. Capsaicin in chili peppers can stimulate the temperature-sensitive nerves in the human body, making us feel burning and stinging pain. But this pain is different from injury and does not cause us severe discomfort. This is because when capsaicin stimulation exceeds a certain threshold, the nerves that sense pain will temporarily lose function. So when you eat spicy food to a certain extent, you will feel numbness in the mouth. This is also why people who eat spicy food often become less sensitive to spiciness. However, overstimulating these nociceptive nerves also increases the likelihood of damage. So in moderation, spicy food is still good for health. The above are the key points of the science of taste that I wanted to share with you today. Tasting is not just a tongue-tip experience, it takes the participation of the whole body and mind. I hope everyone can freely explore the secrets of delicious food and gain a better dining experience. Thanks for watching, see you next time.